Hi, I'm Courtney Luft. I'm here to help you with Canva How To 101, learning the basics and getting started with designing for your own companies. Right. So we'll start with introductions and who I am. So I am a graphic designer at Miranda Creative. I just started recently. I've been here since the summer. I was like, but I've been doing this for nearly a decade. I've been doing a lot of different design work for a lot of different companies, stretching from brand work to digital design to print design. So I've dabbled in a little bit of everything. So I'm very excited to help you today in learning the basics of Canva so that you can get your feet wet in the design world. So let's get started. Right. So I think it's important first to figure out your tools and really navigate Canva. So that's where we'll get started. So when we look at the main menu, as soon as you log in, and this is the free version. So you just use your email, create your password. I was like, but you're not tied to anything monetarily. So you get it right in there and you can start designing right away. You're going to have your home, so you can return back whenever you get lost. If you get too far down the rabbit hole, you can go right back. Your projects, everything that you make, you can assign a project in a folder and you can keep everything organized just like you would on your regular computer, except it's in Canva. So you can get very organized in keeping all your stuff together. So it's easy to find. Your templates, those are going to be like anything that you make or anything that Canva has in store for you. They have thousands of templates that you can use to get started if you're not sure how to build something. So that's an awesome library to use. Your brand, you can also cater your own brand kits in Canva so that everything about your company that makes your company, your logos, your colors, your fonts, everything is right there and ready to get started. So you don't have to worry about uploading every time, but we will get further into that as well. I'll teach you how to set that up. Your apps, Canva has a lot of apps that you can integrate with. It's not a must, but it's a fun tool to go in and explore and see if you can make any of your processes a little more streamlined. And then the Dream Lab, that's more of the AI generated aspect of Canva. A lot of companies are starting to add in those features so that if you are trying to brainstorm or think of something, the Dream Lab is a good spot to go into and just kind of play around with. Um, so let's dive a little deeper once you're in there. So on your main page, you'll see that it'll have a bunch of suggestions on what you can do, and you can have documents. If you want to make a video, you can start a website homepage, you can do social media posts. Canva really has like the biggest library for the novice design portal that you really would need to get going. I was like, and even on the more section, you can extend and see even more like templates and sizes and possibilities that you can stretch to, and you can search. And so there's really unlimited bounds to what you can do with this. So that's your intro for there. And then as far as your free versus paid options, if you're just trying to get in there and do a couple quick things and you're not planning on using this a lot, the free version is completely fine. You don't need to go above and beyond. It has plenty of tools in the free package to get you going. I would say that your pro would be most ideal, just because at the very least it offers bigger libraries. So you have more photos, you have more videos, many more templates to choose from. So and for only $30 a month, it's really not that bad. It gives you more storage, which is huge. So you can have plenty of different versions of your designs and not have to worry about running out of space. You don't have to worry about going in and deleting things. So the pro version is definitely where I would point to if you're really hoping to have the most control over your design needs. As far as teams and enterprise go, not really something that you would need if you're a smaller business. More so if you're getting more into like a bigger enterprise and you're going to have a lot of hands in the same basket. Then I would suggest maybe going to those options. All right, so common tools. Once you actually get in there and start designing, this is going to be what you see. This is going to be the heart of your design and all of the options that you have. So first we have design. So that's going to be where all your templates are. And you can search, you can cater to what you're doing. They already have plenty of things in there. So if you're just looking to be inspired or looking for something to get you going, that's where you're going to want to be. And then for elements, with similar aspects, you can cater to what you're doing, but that's where all of your shapes are going to be, your graphics, photos, videos, any components to your design that you might want to utilize. I will say you want to be careful in picking things that actually do pertain to your design. So you don't want to do too many different styles. You don't want to do a ton of photos because it could get too busy. So just definitely keep it simple, look for things that pertain and really fit. Right. So starting with your design tools, once you're actually in the design space, this is what you're going to see. So we'll start with the design panel. So this is where you can find all of your templates or grab inspiration from. Now, a template is basically a framework or a design that another designer has already contributed to the Canva workspace so that your life can be a little bit easier. So when you see these templates, you know, this is where you can start if it's something that looks like something you might want to do. But say your brand colors are blue, like you're like, I don't want this green color. You can change that. Canva allows you to do all that. You can change these pictures. This just gives you a spot to put your information, or like I said, just give you inspiration as to what direction you might want to go. And then as far as design elements, similarly to templates, these are just all of the components that you're going to be putting in your design. So you can search them and they can cater to what theme you're going for, what you want to put in. But it also allows you to get access to your shapes, any of your picture frames, you know, any shapes that you want to put those photos in. If you want circles, if you want squares. This also allows you to find all your stock photos, any fun graphics that you want to add. This is going to be where you're going to find it. I live in the elements section a lot whenever I'm using Canva. Then as far as your text, this is going to be your hierarchy for your fonts. So you can set default fonts if you want it to be the same all the time, but it also allows you to look through everything in there. So you can pick, you know, whether you want something fun, whether you want something serious, you know, this is going to be the spot where you can default all of your headings, any of your body copy, which is the smaller text for more of your detailed information. So this is going to be your text area. And then brand. I'll get into this a little bit later, but your brand kit essentially is a quick and easy tool that allows you to upload everything about your brand. So any of your logos, any of your colors, any of your fonts, this is where you can put it all so you're not having to upload every single time you go and create a new design. It's there and ready and already set to go, which I will get into later and teach you how to set up your brand kit. Now, so for your uploads, this is where, like any other pictures that you have, say you take some at an event and you want to upload them, that's where you would put them. If you have a partner logo that you want to upload, that's where you would have that. So this is where you would access all of those, and Canva stores them for you. So say you uploaded something 3 weeks ago from an event and you don't know where it is, this is where you can go through and you can find it. The draw panel, this one I would say is not one that's used by many unless you're doing some sort of illustration, but it is a fun tool if you can get in and you want to play around and you want to doodle. It's a lot easier if you're on a tablet, but if you're skilled enough with a mouse, you can use it on desktop as well. Projects, this is going to be where you start to organize all of your work. So say you want to have one spot for all of your flyers, or there's a specific campaign that you're wanting to narrow down. This is where you would organize all of that. So everything is where you need it to be at the ready. You can access those files. The apps panel, this one, again, it's not one that's used by everybody, but it's one that allows you, if you're going to be posting a lot, there could be apps that'll allow you to schedule your posts on social media, or there's going to be fun animation tools that you can use if you want to animate some of your designs. So it's a fun little spot to explore and kind of see like what you have to offer there. And then Magic Media is your AI generating images. So you can pick different styles, you can give it a prompt and say, you know, whatever you want it to look like, this is going to be your spot to do that. And it'll also save your generations that you do. So if you don't want to use something right away, you can still save it and use it later. My biggest advice when you're getting into Canva is to just get it in there and try it out, because otherwise you're never really going to know how stuff works. So, and you'll notice that Canva will pop up certain tools when you're in there. So, if you type into a text box, your text tools are going to pop up. If you click on a shape, then your elements are going to pop up or your colors are going to pop up. So, it's going to really cater to what you're doing in the moment. So you really got to get in there and start playing and working around and see how everything works to really get it down. But if you want to focus on a certain tool, or if you really want to learn specifically how to make a flyer, or you want to know the basics on creating a video, Canva has a huge library of tutorials that you can look into and really get in there and become an expert. So now I'm going to show you how to set up your brand kit. Now, for those of you that don't know what a brand kit is, or if you're not sure that you have one, a brand kit is kind of like a guideline for your company to show how you want to set up all of your assets when you're presenting to potential customers. So as we look at the Homegrown by Heroes logo, we see that we have blues, we have green, the occasional red, but we're not going to throw in random colors in there that don't pertain to the logo itself, because it would be too off-putting. It wouldn't make sense. Sometimes companies will have accent colors. However, for this logo in particular and this brand, these are the colors that we typically stick with. Aside from your shades or possibly white, we're not really going to stray too far from that. So we have our brand colors here and ready to go. The fonts, as we see, are very simple and clean. We're not going to stray from that and say go with a stylistic script or a handwritten font, because again, it wouldn't pertain to the brand. It wouldn't make sense. It could be illegible and it wouldn't be consistent across the brand itself. So if we were to create any assets with something that went outside those guidelines, it could cause confusion for your potential customers, which is what we don't want. So when you're setting up your brand kit, this is a spot where you can upload all of those assets. So they're there, they're at the ready. You don't have to upload them every time, and you can set them as default. So if you're creating a new template or you're creating, something for this company, or say you have a new employee that knows nothing about your brand, you can get them in there and they have everything right there ready. They don't have any questions. Their colors will be defaulted. The fonts will be defaulted. There's very little margin for error when you set up your brand kit. So it's really a positive tool to use once you're in here. Okay, so now I'm going to explain a little bit about creating and editing templates to fit your brand. Now, you can do it a couple different ways, and if you want to start from scratch, you absolutely can, or you can take some of those templates that I explained earlier and cater them. So if you're stuck and you're just blocked and don't know how you're going to start this, you can use some of those templates and change the colors to fit your brand, or change the images, or move things around. You're not stuck in that framework, but it gives you a place to start. When you're creating from scratch, it's important to keep things simple, because more than likely you're going to have this information going in more than one location. You're going to have it go, say, on social media, or you're going to print a flyer, or maybe you want a billboard. So you want to keep it simple so that it's not too much to read for your audience, and it gets the point across quickly and simply for them. So as we see in a couple of these examples, the more text you have, the more likely your audience is not going to read it. And then your whole point is lost altogether. You don't want it to be busy, because our eyes are naturally trained to steer away from things that are too busy or too exuberant or hard to read. So again, we want simple backgrounds, something where text can be read easily, and just keep the main focus there. If anybody wants any more information, they will go to your call to action. They will go to your website. They will, follow up later to find out more. So simple is definitely best. As an example, I was trying to explain about versatility. So having a simple headline and then your subheadline, and for the flyer, you can add a little bit more because you have a little bit more room, but you want the design to be simple enough that we can shape it into different aspects without losing the hierarchy of your design. So we still know that this is homegrown by heroes. We still know that it's a marketing training, and we still know it's about Canva and learning the basics. That's what we want to remain consistent about. You don't want to give them a huge novel that they're not going to read and not look at it at all. You don't want it to be too busy that they can't read it. So simple, easy, easy to replicate, easy to transform. That's where we want to stick with. So now I'm going to touch on taking and choosing photos for your marketing materials. Now, if you get a professional photographer, it's obviously ideal. You're getting high quality images and they're true to your brand because they are your brand. You're getting the accurate location, you're getting photos of staff, you're getting accurate product shots. It's always ideal to have professional photography, but as we all know, it's not always attainable. Thankfully, smartphones have evolved so much that the cameras are actually really, really strong now. You can get high quality images right off of your phone, which, as you see, like this is a photo that I took last year at a tulip farm with my cell phone. So you can achieve the goals that you need. It's just a matter of learning how to take them. So now I wanted to show you also what not to do, because as easy as the smartphones are, it's also easy to take very bad pictures. So here I did an example where I was shooting through my window, and as you can see, you have a reflection of my phone. You have a reflection of the lights in my office. It's very dead out there right now because winter, but you're not getting any kind of subject matter that's really in focus. There's nothing really like catching your eye in this image. So, when you're looking at a photo that you want to put in a marketing material, you want to have a subject matter. So, just something to think about, and you want to get change your perspective. If something doesn't look good from one position, get down on ground level or go, top down below, or just play around and see what would catch your eye if you were the consumer. As you can see, there's quite a few differences between these photos. The stock image is very powerful because you have a main subject matter with the hands, and you have the plant, and you have some negative space over here to give the eyes a break. And it's very, very good lighting. You have, the sunbeams coming from the corner, it's a very happy image, very positive image. And you have some good angling there because you're right at the level of the hands. It's same with my photo. I was it's very bright, it's very powerful. We're at the level of the tulips, so you get the most detail. You get the vast view of the entire field. It's a lot of playing around when you're new to it, but give it some practice, give it some time. And, if it's all on you to take your photos, you'll definitely get it after some practice. But if you're not feeling it and you really don't want to use your phone and you just don't have the time, stock imagery is a huge asset. Now, when accessing stock imagery, it's photos that have already been taken by professionals that are usually in a library. Canva is one of them. They have their own library that is right there for you. You don't have to hunt for them. Adobe Stock has a lot, Shutterfly, Getty Images. There are plenty of assets to find stock imagery for. But when doing that, it's a little dangerous because you want to make sure that you're staying truthful to your brand. You want to be honest with your customers. So I have some examples here that kind of highlight what I mean by that when you're looking for these, because it's easy to fall into the pit of gorgeous photography and want to use the best photo that you find. But if it doesn't pertain to you, now you're in that gray area of false advertising, essentially. So if you have a small family apple orchard, obviously a zoomed in gorgeous picture of apples is safe because you have those. This could easily be taken at any gorgeous family apple orchard. But if it's small, you don't want to pick a photo, say like this, that goes on for miles, that isn't that big, because people will get there and they'll not feel like they're at the right place. So it's important to kind of look at your surroundings and know that you're being honest about that. When looking for cow pictures, zoomed in photos, again, are fine. The location is ambiguous. You can't really place where you're at. But if you start getting into these zoomed out photos where you have mountains in the background and, it could even be different kinds of cows, now obviously that we don't have, these vast mountain views in the middle of Connecticut. So this would not pertain to you. And then finally, as far as produce and products go, Those are fine to find, but you need to look and see what your subject matter is and make sure that you actually have what you're presenting. So, say you have a small vegetable stand, if you pick a photo that has pineapples and mangoes and you don't have those, you don't want to pick a photo that has pineapples and mangoes. So, these are some examples just to keep aware of when you're hunting for stock photography. So, to sum things up for you guys, get acquainted with Canva, really look at the tools, find out what it is you're going to be making, and play around with it. Explore, make templates, start from templates, look at photos, search through the library, try to find graphics, look at the tutorials, really get in there and get comfortable with it. Set yourself up for success with your brand kits. Upload everything that you need so it's right there at the click of a button. You don't have to hunt for it. You save time, and it sets up you and your other employees for creating a seamless marketing campaign if need be. Don't make your designs more complicated than they need to be so that they can be versatile. You want things to be concise and to the point so that you can get your points across to your customers. Be mindful of your photo choices. Once you start getting into that realm, it can be very easy to slip down the rabbit hole and find things that are a little bit too much outside of your brand. You want things to be aesthetically pleasing, but also truthful. And most importantly, have fun. This is your brand, this is your company. Have fun with it and don't make it so much about a job. Thank you so much for all your time, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope you had fun learning today.